Have you guys heard that little kid sing that song? I woke up this morning with this song. His mom was addicted to Oxycontin and crack cocaine. He was born with cerebral palsy and blind. And he came to the church. His uncle went and got him out of foster care when he was like 4 years old. So he walks up to the stage and he's all like this and shaking and got his little stick. And they give him the mic and he holds the mic. And then the music starts playing and he goes, "Open my eyes of my heart, Lord. Open my eyes of my heart, Lord. I want to see you. I want to see you. Open my eyes of my heart, Lord. Open the eyes of my heart. I want to see you. I want to see you." And that just touched me. And this morning, in the midst of my pain and sorrow, God woke me up with that melody in my hand. And he spoke to me something greater than any song could ever be. He said, "Look at that boy, born disabled, disfigured, but yet through all the adversity of his life, he can still praise me." And so he said, "What's your excuse?" And I said, "Open the eyes of my heart, Lord. Open the eyes of my heart." Not these eyes. I want to see. You can only see God here. Because these eyes will see everything. That's what they tell. Don't believe everything you see. But with this, with your spiritual eyes, with the eyes that are embedded in the depths of your soul, you see tomorrow. You see a brighter day. You see yourself in victory. You see yourself overcoming by the blood of the Lamb, by the word of your testimony. So when you guys are feeling down, just say, "Open the eyes of my heart, Lord." Remember that little kid. "Open the eyes of my heart. I want to see you." And it'll bless your soul. "I want to see you." Man, I'm telling you, watch that videos on Facebook. It gave me goosebumps. It speaks to you wherever you're at. And only you know where you're at. Okay, now we're in our series of deception. We just came out of 4 sermons of self-deception, which is something that you need to learn before you can learn about deception. And we found out that we don't need any help in self-deception. We do it completely on our own. It comes from insolent pride. It comes from stubbornness. It comes from disobedience. It comes from being arrogant. And you can actually accept the lie that you believe that you are. Just because the world says that something doesn't mean that it's true. The only thing that carries truth is what comes out of God's mouth and what God says. What did God say? The truth can only be measured by his word. That's why he left it to us. Anything contrary to that is a lie. And when you walk in self-deception, you walk away from the truth. The devil has no problem with self-deceiving you because he self-deceived himself. So what he does is he uses your self-deception to make you part of his team. So you stay in denial. And the truth no longer is the truth, it's a lie. And the lie no longer is a lie, it's the truth. And therefore you become introverted in your own thinking. You condition your mind to believe a lie. And so now we're still in our a deception series. The title of the series was The Greatest Weapon the Devil Ever Invented Was Deception. And now we're going to go into the origin of the devil, the work of the devil, and the destiny of the devil. See, the devil has an origin. The origin, the work, and the destiny of Satan. We're not afraid to speak about the devil. He's our enemy. He's our biggest enemy. He's our worst enemy. He's a scumbag. He's a liar, a murderer, a deceiver, and he comes to destroy your life. And how dare you not know nothing about him? Right. Yea, though he persecutes me all day, I will still speak the word of God until I'm the last one exposing him. I'm not afraid to expose the enemy, and I wish that more churches would preach not against sin, but against the devil. Because we know nothing about our most vicious enemy. How he works. Where's he from? What's his job? What's his assignment? What happens? And for years, we went to church until you came to this church, and now you're going to hear something that you haven't been hearing. And let me tell you, I'm paying the price to preach this. Because all those that will live godly will suffer persecution. God says, I come to bring mother against daughter, father against son, all for my name's sake. Do you know why that division comes? It becomes because of the law of Christ. You can't serve man and God. Choose this day who you will serve. And as a man of God, no matter what I feel, what I see, or how bad I hurt, I have to stand on the side of God. And there's nothing more important in my life than serving him. Because I want to hear him say, well done, my faithful servant. When I told you to speak the truth, you didn't run like other pastors. You declared it with authority and power and no fear. Enter into my kingdom. I told you in my Father's house there's many rooms. If this was not true, I wouldn't tell you. I got you a nice room over here, Mike. Can I bring Flo? No, you don't need Flo. She got her own room. What about my friends and family? You'll see them at worship. Right now, let me show you your house. You see, it started way back in 1980 when you started leading souls. And I started adding rooms to your mansion. You see, this was the guy that you prayed with in the middle of the Persian Gulf. And this was the guy you laid hands on. And this was the girl you spoke into. And this was the people that you fed. And this was the homeless guy that you prayed for. And this is the people that you laid hands on. And look at how I grew your house in every room for your mansion. And here I have my best comfortable bed and I'll lay in it. And I'll have my big lazy boy chair and it'll be so comfortable I'll sit in it. Oh, and my view will be spectacular. All the colors and the flowers that I love so much. Colors that I can't even imagine. But the peace would consume my life so much that I wouldn't know what to do. For it is a peace I've never felt before. This earth cannot contain what God has for us in heaven. Oh, gosh. Sorry, you just gave me a little glimpse. And I was just, oh man, think about this. All the stuff we go through. The junk of this world. The junk every day. The perseverance that we have to fight through just to maintain our enemy. Why? Because there's an enemy. There's a deceiver. There's a guy that wants to kill, steal, and destroy you. He'll destroy you with lack of knowledge, and he'll destroy you with too much knowledge. Oh, wait a minute, Lord. That's right. Because God says, I've given you a sound mind. That means you ain't going to be crazy, but you're going to have a sound mind. And he says, and I haven't given you no fear either. But I've given you love and joy and a sound mind. That means that sound mind keeps you balanced. That doesn't allow you to go overboard with the Word of God. And it doesn't allow you to be underachiever in the Word of God. It allows you to be sound and wise and discerning and having supernatural wisdom to know that just don't smell right. That just don't look right either. Because see, the devil wants to deceive you. And as I keep saying when we start this series, if he can deceive you, he can destroy you. The origin, the work, and the destiny. The word origin is this: the point or place where something begins or arises. Ooh, I like that. Where did the devil come from? Where did he begin at? Well, we heard that in the first series. There was a war in heaven. There was a battle. Satan was working for God in the daytime and working for himself in the nighttime. He went around doing what? Starting a cult in heaven. He said, follow me, and I'll give you everything. I'll make you rulers of men. I will enslave men and women, and we will make them hate God. Look how God created them. They're despicable human beings to think that they can ascend to our supernatural ability. Are you down with me, brother? Yes. Yes, Satan, I'll follow you. Good. Tomorrow at worship, when God assembles us, we will take our stand and we will overthrow the Most High. And we shall ascend to the mountains above. Yeah! Michael, did you hear that? Yeah, I'm on it, God. Kind of that. Boom. Next, the origin. And then you have the work of the devil. The activity, listen to this. The work is the activity or the mental or physical effort to achieve a purpose or a result. The devil has a purpose and a result that he's trying to achieve. It is to destroy you. He don't want to be your friend. He wants to destroy you. Jesus called him a murderer. And he says that he's not only a murderer, he's the father of lies. Make no doubt about it. Some of you walked in here and didn't even believe in the devil like you should. Believe me, he exists. Jesus talks about him all the time in the Bible. We walk around here not believing in God and not believing in the devil, and then we wonder what's going on. There is a battle. There is a war. There is an assault taking place even right now on your loved ones as you sit in church. Open the eyes of my heart, Lord. Open the eyes of my heart. I want to see you. Only when we open the eyes of our heart can we see our enemy. Amen? And then we have the destiny. The definition of destiny is the event. Ooh, there's going to be something coming up. There's a new movie coming up. Yeah, X-Men 39. It's when the devil gets beat up. The event that will happen to a person or a thing in the future. So the devil has an origin, where he came from, how he was created, and we're going to study that. We might only get to the origin. He has a work, what he's obsessed with doing 24/7, 365 days. If God never sleeps or slumber, he never sleeps or slumber. The only thing is he's not omnipresent. He can only be one place at one time. So he sends those 1/3 of fallen demonic sucker angels to come and torment your life. And then they come back and report, I got down on fear. Oh yeah, she's about to lose her mind right now. She's going crazy. The insecurities are overtaking her. Ooh, I got so-and-so believing that they they was made that way. And watch, pretty soon I'll have them too. Ooh, oh yes, oh, I put lust in that girl. Every time she comes to the gospel, she goes right back to being the same old Samaritan woman at the well. Oh yes, oh, and look at that man of faith. I just took his faith. The pastor gave him a powerful word, but I put doubt in his mind, and I took it from him. And as soon as he walked at that door, he was a man no more. Yes. And the devil says, thank you, thank you, thank you. Yes. And then he says, go and get more. Because our job is to kill, steal, and destroy. You notice the steal part. Oh, that's lying, slithery, slimy, sucker. One thing I can't stand is a person that steals from me. You steal my family, you steal my wife, you steal my money, you steal my car, you steal my joy, you steal my blessings. You come as a thief to steal in my house? Yes. That's why Jesus says he comes to kill, steal, and destroy. Watchmen of the house, guard your house. Watchwomen of the house, guard your house. Mothers of child, guard your children. Be about the most important thing, which is guarding and watching. Jesus said, pray without ceasing. He said, watch and pray, so you enter not into temptation. Because the devil's coming. That's his work. Ezekiel, let's look at the origin of the devil. Ezekiel 28 and 12. This was the origin of Lucifer. This is your enemy. And for some of you thinking that he had a horn and a tail, because you watched Warner Brothers Looney Tunes, or you watched somebody's cartoon, that's not an accurate description of Satan. When we read in Isaiah 14 and 4, we talked about the fall of Satan, his insolent pride. But this describes the look and the character of Satan. And this is Ezekiel saying to the king of Tyre, but what he's doing is he's telling the king of Tyre that he's talking, prophesying about the devil. And he says in verse 12, Son of man, take up your lamentations over the king of Tyre and say to him, thus say the Lord. And this is God describing, this is Ezekiel, God describing Lucifer. He says, you had a seal of perfection. So first of all, your enemy is not one that's one-eyed, tooth, and horns and ugly. He's one that was made so beautiful that his beauty was his downfall. See, we only know earthly beauty. You cannot even conceive heavenly beauty, because that which is of flesh cannot conceive that which is of spirit. But when we get to see how beautiful the angels are in heaven, how beautiful we will be in our transformed bodies, you will understand a beauty that you never saw before. And so it says, you were sealed with perfection, and you were full of wisdom and perfect in beauty. You were in Eden, the garden of God. Every precious stone was covering: the ruby, the topaz, the diamond, the beryl, the onyx, the jasper, the lapis lazuli, the turquoise, and the emerald, and the gold, and the workmanship of your settings and socket was in you. God says, I made you and adorned you with everything that is precious and beautiful. Even your sockets, your limbs, and your joints are full with beauty unspeakable. And then he said, and then I made you with no flaws. You had wisdom above anybody else in heaven. You had beauty above anything that I made. And then he goes on to say this. He says, on the day that you were created, they were prepared. And you were the anointed cherub who covers, and I placed you there. You see, a cherub is the only angels in heaven with wings. I hate to tell you, all you people that came from different religions, angels ain't got no wings. They don't need wings. They don't fly through the air. They just transcend. A cherub is an angel that sits on the throne room. God says, and I placed you here. That means God gave him a specific placement in his kingdom. He gave him the throne room setting. And what the devil does is he worships God night and day. But as he was worshiping himself and worshiping God, he began to worship himself. Because he knows the word of God too. And he said, oh, now wait a minute. I got wings. Michael ain't got no wings. I got every jewel of precious. Even in my sockets. They ain't got that. Gabriel ain't got none of that. Raphael ain't got that either. Oh, and look, I sit in the stones of fire. The book of Enoch describes that God's throne room is a curtain of fire. And when he summons the angels, they come here. But none of them are allowed to come past. And the Bible is going to say stone of fire, but the curtain of fire. And but Lucifer was. Before there was man, before there was earth, before there was any creation, on all their other assignments that they did way before we don't know nothing about, Lucifer sat on the throne of God. Because the book of Revelation describes that only cherubs sit on the throne, and their assignment is to say, holy, holy, holy is the Lord Almighty. And when they built the Ark of the Covenant, they put the wings of the cherub on it because it was the mercy seat where God would sit, and his cherubs were still there. And analytically, that's what would happen when God would come. His cherubs would come with him. Imagine God constantly needing worship. Imagine what he goes through. Imagine the stress of only what we know, not the other things that he's involved in. And imagine what he does all day long. It's working for us. Staying the step of the enemy. Begging you to listen to the word of God today. Telling you not to walk down that road because you don't know where it leads to. He's constantly pleading for intimacy with you. To know you not in a religious aspect because religion kills, but in a personal level. I want to know you, Crystal. I want to know who you are. I want to know you intimately, says God. But we don't want to give that to God. And this is what he does night and day, trying to figure out a way to get to the real Danny, and to the real Mike, and to the real self. And so he protects us, he leads us, he guards us, he warns us, he shelters us, he guides us. Only for one reason, to get you personal, to know you on a personal level, to know you intimately. And that's all. Sometimes I feel burdened for God because I say, God, I couldn't be God. I have a hard time trying to be Mike. I just grabbed my little girl. Imagine you. I mean, when you think about God's job, makes your job look simple, huh? Amen. And so God said, I placed you there, and you were on the holy mountain. You walked in the midst of the stones of the fire. That means you walked behind the curtain into my throne room, into my chamber. You were blameless in all your ways, because I made you. From the day you were created until, from the day you were created until, from the day you were created until what? Until you chose unrighteousness. Until unrighteousness was found in you. My God. unborn baby, born out of your mother's womb. You're not gay. You're a boy or a girl. You're a newborn baby. You're not a murderer. You're a boy or a girl. You're not a hustler, a swindler, a convict. You're a boy or you're a girl. You were born blameless until unrighteousness is found in you. See yourself in the scripture. We were born the same way Lucifer was born. From the day God created us, He gave us gifting and talents, and some can sing good, and some are athletic, and some are super smart, and some are servants, and some are helpers, and some are hard workers. Those are all gifted talents. Some have the gift of compassion. Some mothers are blessed to have 10 and 12 kids. Some mothers are blessed to have none, but you got to see the blessing in that, because God has called you maybe the missionary, so kids will tie you down. You see, and then we're born blameless. We're born with a promise and a purpose until unrighteousness is found within us. And then we change. It's almost like a snapshot of us. Open the eyes of my heart, Lord. Open the eyes of my heart. I want to see you. I want to see you. Open your eyes, guys. Get this word into you. He says you were blameless in your ways from the day you were created until unrighteousness was found in you. By the abundance of your trade, that means your craft, what you chose to give yourself to. You were internally filled with violence, and you sinned. Whatsoever a man thinketh, whatsoever a man thinketh, whatsoever one thinketh, so she becomes. If your trade is full of insolent pride, then insolent pride will be your destruction. If your trade is full of sexual immorality, then sexual immorality will be your destruction. If your trade is full of thieving and lying, then thieving and lying will be your destruction. You were born blameless. You were born blameless. How do you blame God for your life after you chose to walk in unrighteousness? And then you want to declare, I was born this way. How dare you bring shame to God? Everything that He makes is pure and good and beautiful. By the abundance of your trade, by the abundance of the trade, by the things you desire, by the things you wanted, it began to create something in you and stir something inside of you until you became what you wanted to be. And He says that you were internally, that means inside, you were full with violence and you sinned. Therefore, I have cast you as profane from the mountain of God. And I have destroyed you, O covering cherub, from the midst of the stones of fire. That means God has evicted him from his throne. Your heart was lifted up because of your beauty. Ain't that how it all starts? Someone told us we was beautiful. My auntie said, "You're so handsome," so I thought I was a player. And she said, "You was ugly." Ain't that how it starts? Some swindling man or woman tells you you sexy. I'm sexy, yeah, and I know it. Next thing you know, you in the sheets with him. What happened? I don't know. She just told me I was sexy. even know how I got pregnant.
Yeah, I hear that.
Jesus, is that you? No, I only came one time. That was with Mary. Sorry. She was the fairest of them all. That was Larry that got you. Okay? You see, your heart was lifted up because of your beauty. Listen, you beautiful men and women in here, don't let your beauty get away with you. Someone gives you a compliment, don't let it go to your head. I remember we were mad at you, Grandma. You made Vita a princess. We was pissed off for at least 10 years because she actually believed she was a princess. Oh, she became a terror, and I was so mad. I said, who told her she's a princess? She had a princess birthday party from that day on. She beat up her sisters. She kicked her brothers out of the room. She was a princess in her own kingdom. And nobody was allowed to enter in to her kingdom because she was a princess. She felt she was entitled to everything above all my 6 kids. I'll be praying for one of her friends and we'd be in a circle praying. She'd take that girl's hand out of her daddy's hand and scoot her down. You can't hold my daddy's hand. She won't even allow her own sister to have a relationship with me because she's a princess. She allowed her beauty and her compliments to be her downfall. He says your heart was lifted up because of your beauty. You corrupted, listen to this. You corrupted your wisdom. You see, God gave you wisdom. He said, Daddy, don't do that. But your insolent pride says, I can do it and I can get away with it. You corrupted your wisdom by reason of your splendor. Oh, that's a warning. Don't let the gift of God corrupt you. Cliff God. Listen to me. You don't know me, but I'm speaking to you every Sunday until you come and denounce that $64 million plane and get yourself right. Okay? You need to go read Ezekiel again. Okay? Because this is you. Okay? Your wisdom got more wisdom than anybody else. Your gospel is better than anybody else's gospel. You know, when I think about this, I can't leave this because I want you guys to get this. You corrupted your wisdom by reason of your splendor, and I cast you to the ground. You can corrupt your own wisdom that God gave you by being deceived, by being self-deceived, by thinking too much. You see, some of us athletes, and I know I was a gifted athlete. I was NFL bound, and I was stuck on that. But to save my life, I made God a promise. Because I really felt if I would have went to the NFL, my life would have been destroyed. I was caught up in my own splendor, and my wisdom would have been corrupted. If I was able to do all the damage I did without no money, imagine what I would have done with money. Money, 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 money. Yeah. And Simeon, Seth, and Vita, and Michael, Patricia, Crease wouldn't even be here. I'd have 4 other children by some other woman. And God says, I cast you to the ground and I put you before king. See, when God comes to deal with your insolent pride, he says, whatever is done in the dark will be brought to the light, and whatever is whispered in the ear will be shouted on the rooftop. God makes an example out of you. And when men and God begin to fall, God lets them fall, and he lets it be known why they fall, and then their business is exposed. And this is what he's done. He's let us know the business of the devil, but we don't want to know. We don't want to know our enemy. We don't want to know nothing about him. We just want to run to the altar every time. Pastor, can you pray for me? No, pray for yourself. I've been preaching, you ain't been listening. I've given you the weapons to fight your own battles. Start fighting. That's right. I've exposed him every service. I said, this is what he's going to do to you. You're going to walk out of here, jump in your car, and poof. That's how quick he comes. That's right. You're going to get home and you was feeling good, and then poof, he going to kick you right in the nuts.
Well, every man understand that.
He's going to hit you in the stomach. What you going to do? You're going to stay there and you're going to cry like you've done all the other years. No, you're going to stand up because you know that God gave you power over him. You ain't his whooping boy or girl. The reason why I'm teaching you this so you can grow some. And women, you don't need to grow now. Okay? You just need to be strong. Okay? But some of you men need to grow a pair. Alright? Stop letting the devil punk you. Whoop you around. Yeah, I'm preaching street, because y'all know street. Okay? If we was upright and religious and stuffy, I'd be using different words that I don't even know what they mean. But I'll still be saying. Okay? God says that I cast you to the ground and I put you before kings. That means he puts you before people of the world, other people, other men and women of God, other leaders to see how you fail. And then he says this, he says, by the multitudes of your iniquities. Oh my Lord, there's so many, a multitude. And the unrighteousness of your trade. You profane your sanctuaries. Therefore I have brought fire from the midst of you. It has consumed you, and I have turned you to ashes on the earth. In the eyes of all who see you. You see, when a man or a woman, we're talking about church folks. That's all. The devil was a church folk. He went to church every day. Okay? The devil was somebody in leadership. Go back to what God said. He said, I sealed you with perfection, full of wisdom and perfect in beauty. In the ministry with me. On the right hand, on the throne of God, I set you as a cherub, and I covered you. And I placed you there in that place of leadership, in that place of wisdom, in that place of authority, in that place of righteousness. But just as I have placed you there, and just as you deceived, I will replace you. And he said this, and he said, and all who know you among the peoples are appalled at you. You have become terrified, and you will cease to be forever. What that means is this: the devil was designed to live forever. And God says, basically, I'm going to kill you in the end. And you will be turned to ashes on the earth. The title of this new subject is called The Origin, the Work, and the Destiny. And guess what we just did? The origin. You learned today for the first daggone nabbit time, without you reading it on your own, the origin of the devil. How many just learned that today? I like that. That's good. Okay. Now, what you gonna do when he comes from you? Bad boys, bad girls. What you gonna do? You better fight, okay? Listen, he's no longer that. He's no longer that. He has been cast down, and we're gonna get into his work next week. Open the eyes of my heart, Lord. There's a more prophetic saying to this song. You're asking God to open you up so you can see him. Who is him? His name, his word, his promises, his blood, his sacrifice, his intimacy. We're not just talking about one thing. We're talking about seeing God in every form and facet. Amen. All right, let's close this wonderful service. You know what? I love you guys. You guys make me happy. I came in here and I've been crying for the last 2 days. I cried all morning. But God showed up, didn't he?
Oh, yes. Amen.
I was so down, I didn't even want to be y'all's pastor no more. I got kicked in the nuts. Bad. I said, I don't want to do it. Don't work out. The Peter! And God said, lift your head up. Look up and what's coming your help. I am your rock, I am your fortress, and the gates of hell will not prevail against you. And I remember my own sermon. Peter, upon this rock, I will build my church, and the gates of hell will not prevail. Let's pray. Father, we just thank you for the joy that we have and the life abundantly, Father. Father, you said I've come to give you life and life abundantly. I've come to bless you. I've come to prosper you. I've come to give you things that no other God in this world can give you. For there is none like me above heaven and earth. I come to bless your life. Oh, to bless your family. I come to bless your generation, 1,000 generations. I've come to give you life. I've come to rescue you from the torment of this world. I've come to give you more abundantly a fullness, a wholeness, a completeness. I've come to give you love and fellowship. I've come to give you intimacy. I've come to know you in a greater way. Not like any lover before me. Because there's none like me in all the world and all the world to come. And I've come to bless you, to help you through your struggle, to get you from one place to another, to cover you, to be a light unto your path, to guide you in the direction that I have for you. For I care about you so much. Father, how could we astray from you, knowing that you care for us? Father, teach us to be watchful and prayerful. Teach us to be vigilant. Teach the strong men and the strong women to guard everything that they possess. Everything that has been given to you, given to them by you. And we will protect what is ours. Knowing this, that if God be for us, who can be against us? So Father, I pray that we leave out of this place with the covering, the blood covering of Yahshua, the Son of God, the angel that did not betray you, the Son of Man that came down and fulfilled his promise to you. I cover them in his blood, from the crown of their head to the soles of their feet, to all four corners of their property, to the rises and settings, so that it may go well with their lives. In Jesus' name, amen.